Humans are like Pokemon. Stay with me here. Because you go through life, you reach a certain level, age, and then you kind of evolve into the next, hopefully better form of yourself. We don't call these changes evolution though, because we're not Pokemon, we're people. You know, we're people. Instead, we call this busting out of our shell. In general, people are habitual creatures. They do things that they're comfortable with, and at some point, you gotta make changes every once in a while, so we gotta break those habits. This is what I, and a lot of people like to refer to as busting out of your shell. This can be difficult. It has been difficult for me. It's pretty much difficult for everyone, so I'm gonna give you 3 tips on how to bust out of your shell. Huh? Yeah, woo. The first tip is to not be complacent. It is very easy to get into a rut and to do things that make you comfortable, that you're comfortable doing, and it's very little change because that's what you've been doing, and that's easy. So for me, the first step of busting out of my shell and changing something about myself is to recognize that I am complacent and to say, look, we gotta change something. It's kind of the awareness step, the first step being acknowledging that you are complacent and you gotta get out of that. It's especially easy these days to get complacent because we all have our various schedules, whether you're going to school every day or you're going to work every day. You wake up, you do something, you go home, you go to sleep, you repeat. On and on and on and on, and it's so easy to get used to that and to get stuck in that. The second step is to surround yourself with people who are different than you, with people who have the characteristics that you admire, that you want to either adopt yourself or to better in yourself. For me, I'm a really introverted person. I tend to get in my head and do my things in my head. So in general, when I see somebody who I want to hang out with, who I want to spend time with, who I want to get to know, usually the most appealing people to me are the ones who are extroverted, who can just talk to people, who can just go out there and say things and not necessarily be worried about what's going on inside their head all the time. It's learning by example, in a way, because I look at somebody who's very extroverted, for example, and I see them talking to a stranger or getting to know somebody who they just met, and I admire that so much. So what I do is I watch them, I spend time with this person, I get to know that person, and almost put what I'm watching them do into practice by getting to know them. It's observational learning and application almost simultaneously. This is really important because people who are the same tend to congregate with others who are the same. That's kind of how that works. You get shared interests, and that's awesome and that's rad and amazing, but it's also super, super important to kind of explore other options and other types of people because there are so many different types of people out there. And what's the point of there being so many freaking types of people if you don't sample all that? It's like you're going into Sam's Club and you know that you're gonna get mozzarella sticks and you see that Bagel Bites sample over there and you're like, oh, that kind of looks delicious, but no, I was here for mozzarella sticks, so I am not gonna eat that free sample of Bagel Bites. And you just missed out on freaking Bagel Bites, man. They're bagels, they're like little pizza things, and you can eat them in one bite. Like, you're missing out. And the third and final tip is to not think and just do things. In other words, it's stopping yourself from stopping yourself, because I've found in situations where I can do something that's out of the ordinary, that's definitely a bust out of my shell moment, I stop myself in my head. I overthink it and I end up not doing it because it's not comfortable for me. So the trick here is to stop myself from stopping myself, and the best and most effective way I found to do that is to just do it and not think about it. And usually I find when I'm on the other side and I've done that uncomfortable activity that, oh man, I did it and it was fine, and then I get used to that. It's a positive reinforcement which causes me to then do it more often. But why are we talking about this, Connor? Well, anonymous person, we're talking about this because I want to bust out of my shell. I have been in a rut, in a routine, that's been a needed routine and an important routine in my life for like 2 years now, and I want to start busting out of that shell and doing things that are out of character for me, that are out of the ordinary for me. I've always been a very sociable person, but I don't socialize very often. I do well in social situations, but I don't get myself to go to those social situations. That's just one example of this. I feel like I have more to offer to those in my life that I'm not really providing right now, and I really, really want to do that because I think that, you know, this could be a very special time in my life, and I want others to be along for the ride and to be supportive of the ride. And I think a really good way to do that is to bust out of my uncomfortable zones, to do things that are very out of the ordinary for me, to take initiative and meet people, talk to people who I've never spoken to in my life. And I think this is a very important thing for me as I move forward into adulthood. Because I look at my life like it's an adventure, because it is an adventure. And the good part about that is I get to choose who I select on this adventure, and so far I've chosen very few individuals to be part of my crew, but I want to expand that, and I want to involve more people, and I want to just do things and take on more adventures that'll make my life more interesting. And at the end of the day, when I go to bed, I can say, I had a good day today, and I enjoyed myself, and I did something that was different and out of the ordinary for me. because I want to be excited about my life. So that's all I got to say about that. What are some things that you guys have done to get out your shell? Let me know in the comments. I'll be checking them out. And yeah, next week is special because I'm doing 3 videos. I'm doing Monday. Wednesday is my meaning of life because it's been a lot of stuff I'm trying to get together for that to make that right. So I'm going to be doing regular video on Monday, my meaning of life conclusion on Wednesday, and then Friday is another video. So yeah, as always, I'm Connor Manning. You've just become a little more awesome, and I will see you guys on Monday. Gonna just freaking bust out of my shell to reveal a white t-shirt. It's pure, it's not dirty, it's ready to experience and get a little dirt on it. Whoa, another analogy. Gosh, man. Surprise analogies from this guy. Big fan. I'll see you guys later.